up, nerds? Indie Swan. Today, I just wanted to go through today. This was going to be top 10 TNA DVDs or whatever. Let me just move my chair. Yeah, so we can probably milk this in the future. I've got a lot more than 10 here. And when I say, top 10 TNA DVDs, I don't necessarily mean favourite pay-per-view, but, the event probably helps. It's more the DVD itself. I'm literally saying these are my favourite DVD sets to own. First things first, Bound for Glory 2005. This is probably one of my favourite pay-per-views ever, to be honest. And like I say, it's not really about the event necessarily, but the event is great. So it's a one disc set, and with this one, this era of TNA is just one of my favourites. It's the era of the old school six-sided ring, we're in the Impact Zone. I think they've just got on Spike. But yeah, this is a really good pay-per-view. This is the one with the Monsters Ball, with Abyss, Rhino, and Sabu and Jeff Hardy. Really cool match, very fun. Next up, Victory Road 2004. I believe this is a 2-disc set. The cool thing about this one, pretty sure, this was Macho Man's debut. He didn't actually wrestle a match. He appeared at the end of this show, as well as Roddy Piper. So this was like, from what I remember, this was like a 3-hour event. This was like one of the big pay-per-views that TNA did back in the day. Marketing-wise, this would have been akin to probably like their WrestleMania or SummerSlam kind of thing. Next, Final Resolution. The interesting one with this one is it still has part of the original seal. Next, this one, very cool. So this is a reasonably rare kind of triple pack box set sort of thing. I believe this is Region 4, so yeah, it is right there. I'm in the UK. I do have PCs and my games consoles and stuff. In my typical setup, I watch my DVDs on a Freeview player, so it's pretty weird how I consume things. So a DVD like this, I wouldn't be able to consume in my actual setup, in my bedroom basically, but I can watch it on a PC or whatever. So when collecting things, I do kind of keep that in mind. I kind of keep in mind, okay, how expensive is this versus am I going to be able to watch it? Is this more of a collector's piece? This is kind of both. So in the UK, these pay-per-views individually are reasonably expensive. The 2009 pay-per-views are only going up in price. It's cool to own this. So you see there, Victory Road 09, Hard Justice 09, and No Surrender 09. No Surrender 09 in particular is, I don't know if it's hard to find or whatever, but it's reasonably expensive. So I thought I'd show that one off. Best of 09 next. I'd also probably lump in Best of 07 with this as well. It's basically a countdown of the best of the year. So DVDs like this are pretty much gold dust, especially for like a kid back in the day. So yeah, YouTube was around, but I had a PS2. There wasn't really any YouTube like that. It wasn't really around like that. So compilation DVDs and things like that were really cool back in the day. Incidentally, I didn't have these two back in the day. These aren't my childhood DVDs. These are more for the collection, so I think them two are really cool. The WWE, they kind of make best of 01. They'll do compilation DVDs themselves, so it's pretty cool that TNA have done a few of them. Now, along the same theme of compilation DVDs, these two are my childhood DVDs. So these two, the 50 Greatest Moments of TNA and the Best of the X Division Volume 2, these two are my childhood DVDs, man. The footage on this, yeah, like I say, there was no YouTube back in the day like that really. So a countdown DVD like this, these are pretty normie DVDs. Like they're pretty, they're not hard to find or anything like that. I'd probably say this one in particular, if you're getting into like TNA DVDs or expanding your wrestling DVD collection, this one is probably the first one you'll come across, especially in the UK. And yeah, this one as well, Greatest Moments Volume 2. It's pretty much like all of the great X Division matches up until that point, and pretty much ever really. Like it's TNA in the early 2000s. Next up, under One Night Stand, 2014, I'm pretty sure this was. I'm pretty sure they aired this as like a regular Impact episode in like 2014. It was good. I'm pretty sure this was the debut of Sanada, however you say his name, that guy. What happened to that guy? Like, you don't really see him anymore, do you? Maybe you do, I don't know. Yeah, I'm also pretty sure it was the Great Muta's return, maybe debut. I'm not quite sure. I'm pretty sure it was a return. But yeah, I remember this was before like the Japanese kind of boom in like 2016. So, you know, the Bullet Club was a thing, I think, at this point. So this was like the beginning of that like indie Japan Bullet Club kind of I don't know what you'd call it. It was kind of a renaissance in the West, I guess, of like indie wrestling, UK wrestling, Japan wrestling, all of these like kind of other styles of wrestling around 2014 to probably 2020, since the creation of AEW really. They were having like a renaissance thanks to social media and things like that. So this was it wasn't a big part of it, but it was definitely TNA cashing in on it, which is what they do. Next up is Against All Odds 2006, I believe. I think this was the first one. 2008. Fair enough. But yeah, I've pretty much put this one on here because this DVD for me was one of like the first, I don't know what you'd call it, one of the first pay-per-views, I guess, that isn't quite so normy. So in the UK, you just don't really see this one sitting around on shelves, really. So, you know, when you first start getting a bit of money as like a teenager, you start looking at the DVDs you really wanted as a kid, and this was one of them. You know, just for the time period. You know, Kurt Angle and Christian, this sort of time, Samoa Joe. Kurt Angle was on fire around this time, so really good time period. Next is probably one of my favourite concepts for a DVD. So it's the World X Cup 2008. So this DVD is a compilation of matches. It's basically a tournament that they held throughout multiple shows in 2008. I can't remember the month. World Cup style tournament, but it was worked and it was wrestling. And yeah, this was a compilation of all the shows. And I think it's really cool. It's kind of a cool insight into what the weekly TVs looked like, because a lot of that is kind of lost media now. Like, how do you find a random TNA episode from 2008? You know, it's not really lost media, but you can't really have it on demand, really. So it's cool to own. Next is Jeff Hardy, the best of Jeff Hardy, Enigma. This is probably one of my favourite ever DVDs to own, ever. You know, I love this era of Jeff Hardy. The DVD itself, I mean, just look how cool it is. The DVD menus, they play Jeff Hardy's theme song. And yeah, I just love this era of Jeff Hardy. I'm not sure if you can see in the background, that's a Jeff Hardy figure there of that Jeff Hardy in TNA. Next up is a really cool one. It's Fandemonium, Beer Money versus Motor City Machine Guns. A 2-disc set again. So the first disc covers Beer Money, and second is Motor City Machine Guns. So yeah, obviously one of the greatest rivalries of modern tag team history, definitely. The Motor City Machine Guns are now in the WWE, and I guess Beer Money kind of have been as well. Yeah, you probably won't find this set in the UK. I'm pretty sure this is a Region 4 release again. It says Spike on it, so I assume it is. Next up is Sacrifice and Slammiversary, a twin pack. Now again, I don't necessarily remember this event. I do remember RVD versus Sting for the championship, and I do remember Beer Money versus Matt Hardy and Chris Harris, actually. Yeah, I remember that. AJ and Tommy Dreamer, yeah. But the reason I actually wanted to show you guys this DVD and include it in this video is because, again, just the nostalgia. This time period, man. I remember when this DVD came out. This was probably one of the first TNA pay-per-views DVDs I actually owned. So yeah, nostalgic time. This was before I started watching the weekly TV show, so around sort of 2011 sort of time is when I first got Freeview back in my bedroom when I was a kid, you know, and then I could watch Challenge and I could watch TNA every Sunday at 7 o'clock, I think it was, and then Wrestle Talk TV right afterwards. It was good times. Speaking of good time, knockouts. I can't actually remember what this DVD is. I'm pretty sure this is just like a magazine photo shoot kind of DVD. It covers Christy Hemme, Tracy, Gail Kim, and Jackie. I remember the Jackie one being really awkward. Yeah, but I think it's a cool DVD. I think it's cool to own. You don't really see it much. And I love the WWE have made a few kind of divas in the summer, sort of diva-centric DVDs, and they're actually pretty rare to find, so that's pretty cool. That. Next up is Global Impact Japan. The funny thing about this one is I actually bought this sealed about a year ago, and I actually only opened it a few months ago because I wanted to watch it, and I didn't actually mean to buy it sealed. I just that was the best deal. If I would have known I was going to be doing this video, it would have been cool to keep sealed, but yeah. So I'm pretty sure this DVD isn't the easiest to find in the UK and in general, man. Just to see the 2008 TNA roster in Japan is really cool. And like I say, this is way, way, way before the renaissance of 2016 years. So Japan, it had the mystique, but the mystique that Japan had at this time was from the 90s. And it still is, you know, Japan still has that mystique now, but the West hadn't caught up in terms of modern day Japan. It was more about, people were still in the tape trading sort of mindset in the West when it came to Japanese wrestlers and things like that. The hype wasn't necessarily there for this event in terms of like internet and things like that. I mean, it was 2008, so but yeah, it's a really cool event, and it's a really cool DVD to own. Next up is Turning Point 2012. This DVD cover is sick. This time period was sick. Well, I do remember Jeff Hardy versus Austin Aries, ladder match for the TNA Championship. Yeah, so for me, this is a pretty quintessential pay-per-view, to be honest. I mean, in terms of DVDs and like owning them, it's just a cool one to own. Speaking of cool ones to own, Sacrifice 2010. This was probably more on the expensive side. So when you first start collecting TNA DVDs or whatever, you sort of maybe have your own mental list of, okay, I want that one, and when I get a bit more money, I'll get... This was way up there. This was like, just the cover alone, you know, you kind of see the cover, and I think this was like a 22 quid kind of DVD, and, you know, that might not be much, especially now, but, you know, I've been collecting for my whole life, so DVDs have gone up massively, and a £22 DVD, even 5 years ago, was like, you know, but... I was talking back in the day, it'll be like 15 to 10, and like, but nowadays paying 20 quid for like a used DVD is pretty reasonable, I'd say. So it kind of goes to show in these past 5 years, you know, how my mindset at least has changed. I don't know about you guys. Next up is The Bloodiest Brawls, best of whatever the fuck, Scars and Stitches. I'm pretty sure this is Region 4 again. So again, I can't watch this one in my regular setup, so I'm not too familiar with this one. I think I've watched it once or twice. This was mainly for the set because I'm pretty sure they released a volume 1 So they released a volume 1 here. So this is a region 2, and I am able to watch this one. Now this isn't, it's technically not a volume 2, but I mean it's Best of Bloodiest Brawls, right? So I assume it's part of the same set, so for me it was collecting the set kind of thing. Also, this was made in 2009, so I like to see how the presentation has changed over the years. So the first volume was made in 2006, so I mean just by the DVD design itself, you can see it's got that classic TNA font on the spine. You know, it's just kind of that classic TNA design philosophy in terms of layout and the production value. And then 2009, you can see it's a lot more streamlined. Yeah, obviously it's a bloody DVD, but you can just tell it's a lot more, as they were trying to be in 2009. They were trying to streamline everything and compete more with the WWE. In general, culture was going more towards streamlining. So look at the UFC. The UFC in the early 2000s, this is a good example of what a UFC DVD in the early 2000s looked like. It was very in your face, very like knock you out kind of going for that rabid male crowd. Whereas in 2009, it was a lot more streamlined. It was a lot more, we're going to focus on the sport aspect. We're going to actually, you know, it became a lot more streamlined. And that was what culture was doing back in the day. So I just find it really cool to look at examples like that in wrestling and in TNA DVDs. Now, this is the shit. This is the actual reason I'm making this video. This is the reason I collect DVDs. This is the reason I watch TNA. This is the reason I'm on YouTube. This is the reason I'm whatever, you know. This is it, man. This is the box set. Main Event Mafia 2008 TNA. It does not get any better than this, motherfuckers. Look at the back. Suicide. Now, shout out to Final Resolution 2008, because there's two of them. This was January, and in that box set contains December. So, yeah, I think these box sets are so cool, man. The reason I've chose to show you guys this is because you just don't really see these box sets. I believe they released 3 of them. I have 2 of them. I also have the Christian one. The basic kind of formatted old school box layout for all of them, just with the titles and the match cards on the back. In terms of the disc, they all pretty much, again, look pretty similar. But yeah, this era of TNA, man, is just, you know, childhood for me. It doesn't get any more pro wrestling than this. I mean, just look at that with the fucking whatever that is, you know, that hype shit to get people to buy shit. That is so early 2000s. Suicide. It just doesn't get any cooler than this. And again, you just don't really see triple box sets around, especially in the UK, and especially these are actually region 2 as well. Both of these are region 2, and they'll work on my UK player. So, you know, if you guys know anything about physical media collecting or anything like that, having, like, especially in the UK, box sets and like cool things aren't available in the UK. They're all fucking American, it's all Australian or whatever. The UK does get some stuff, but in terms of wrestling, especially because it's so United States orientated, so it's really cool to have box sets like that. But yeah, I hope this wasn't too much of a ramble. I hope this wasn't too hard to get through. First video back in like 15 years. So I hope you guys were here for it, man. If you want to see anything else, this is a lifetime of collection behind me, man. This isn't just wrestling. This is movies, TV shows, video games, VHS tapes, music videos, live performances, music compilations. I've got everything. So if you guys can see anything in the background there that you want me to have a look at, let me know. I'll do just that. Until next time.
Don't notice a killer walking through the crowd. Don't really look like a thug till he pull that popper out. Empty out the whole club. He already got on the whole nug. He steadily pulling off holders. If you roll up inside of that car, you gon' see how the bullets had. That's